Hello everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Kerbal Space Program. In the previous episode, you can see here we have a satellite in a polar orbit over Kerbal. Basically, it went through its cycles and scanned all the planet and picked up quite a few anomalies. So in this episode, we're going to pick an anomaly. I'm thinking one to the west. Check it out and see if we can get there and get our Kerbal back to Kerbal Space Center alive and intact. Hey guys, right here we have the Explorer, I'm calling it. It has RAM intake engines on it, and it has VTOL engines on it from the SM-S plane pack from the Kerbal Spaceport. And those planes kind of look very stealthy, but here we go. I just wanted to throw them on there to give this plane some other options since it is kind of a big one. It's a big wing design. But basically I also positioned us on the runway west so we could start heading west immediately towards our objective. That way we don't waste any energy or fuel turning around. We're just immediately ready to go since we don't really need the runway. I had some RAM intakes on the fuselage underneath, but when I tried to take off or land during testing, they would actually clip the ground sometimes and break off. And since we're not going to be landing on a flat runway all the time, I decided just to take them off. I might get some air breathing intakes on that center fuselage at some point, just so it's better for flying at lower altitudes, at least with the main engine. And then I can maybe put the middle engine and the two side engines on separate action groups. But right now I just have the VTOL and the other engines on an action group. And I'm using SAS here to climb altitude to try and get up more speed. The video is quite long here, so I'll probably be clipping it down a little bit and maybe doing a little bit of high-speed flight action for you guys, so we can break it up, because in this video I'm actually going to get to the Easter egg and get back to base, and it's quite long. So anyway, I'm going to cut here and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm just going to speed up time here. The flight's kind of long and kind of boring. I'm just basically trying to keep the plane stable and trying to keep high altitudes. I'm using SAS to try and keep my my flight level and maintain high speeds. So that's really all I'm doing. We'll cut back as soon as I'm getting ready to land at the Easter egg. Alright guys, and now we're coming in for a landing. Everything's looking good. We got our airspeed down. You can see our Easter egg just up ahead here. Looks kind of like some pyramids or something. It's hard to make out. They're very square looking. Could be where the Kerbal civilization began. So what I'm going to do here is, as I get a little bit closer, I'm just going to kick in the VTOL and cut the main thrusters. Arcing up a little bit from the horizon, that actually cuts your airspeed down to null. And you can almost just plop to the ground at like 30 meters per second. It's really cool. I like using the VTOL for jets that are really big and heavy. This one actually probably could come in for a landing, probably like 60 or 70 meters per second, but I just wanted to make sure that we could land and actually take off again in any type of terrain. I'm sure there's going to be some Easter eggs that are going to be a little bit harder to get to in the game, and terrain will not be very helpful. So we might have to use this VTOL system quite a lot, or we might have to possibly launch some kind of plane into orbit, and then come back down for a landing at the actual Easter egg, depending on where it is and how long it takes to get there and the terrain and such. So we'll find out as we explore more Easter eggs. Yeah, definitely a pyramid of some sort here. And now the VTOLs are on. I'm basically just trying to find a really good throttle here, throttle mix, just maybe like 5-10% tops, to try and bring it in nice and easy, because we're certainly pretty close. Don't want to come in too hard here. I also had to put that landing gear at the back tail, because my design, when you went to take off, if you took off too aggressively, it would actually rip that back turbo engine right off the jet. So I had to put some additional landing gear, and they're really good for touching down, as you can see here. When the jet is fully flat on the ground, VTOL's off. When the jet's fully flat on the ground, those back landing gear don't even touch the ground. So. And I think I just cut on the main engines here for a second just to get a little bit closer. It goes uphill a little bit. And those are definitely some pyramids. So very cool. Some kind of Kerbal totem in the front there as well. Maybe that's the god they worshipped when they built the pyramids. But very cool, very cool. So hopefully there's more Easter eggs like this throughout the game, because these are interesting. I like it. So we're going to come to a complete stop here and get ready for an EVA. So there you have it. Bill Kerbal. The first Easter egg we found in Kerbal's space program, the pyramids. Just to give you a little perspective, zoom it all the way out. Looks awesome. Alright, so now it's time to get out of here, guys. I'm going to speed up time here. Long flight back. Going to use the VTOL to take off a little bit quicker, since we were lined up right with the pyramids. Now you might have noticed too, I was a little bit further away from the pyramids than I was when I landed, and that is because when I got out to do my EVA, I turned around and looked back, and my jet was rolling down the hill. So maybe something to add later to the landing gear, maybe some kind of parking brake, I don't know. So yeah, long flight, gonna climb altitude here, get up to speed, and start on our trajectory towards Kerbal Space Center. At some point, it might have already occurred, I run out of fuel in the middle tank, so I am running strictly on the outer engines now. So it ends up being just perfect amount of fuel. I mean, right now I'm like on my way, and I have more than halfway in those two tanks, so I'm definitely going to make it. Whether or not I can pull up the landing, stay tuned, and you'll see. All right, coming up here in a second, I'm about to lose control. I think I just got up a little bit too high, and the engine's just they're not getting any oxygen. A little bit high in the atmosphere. So basically what I do here is I just cut the engines and wait till I get a little bit lower here. Then I kind of turn them back on full throttle and try and regain control. A little scary at first, but I end up pulling it off right there around 3,000 meters, and which is fine. We're getting pretty close to Kerbal Space Center now. We're starting to see some of the debris markers and things from previous flights. Most of the debris I check is from the live stream, so our flying jeeps and trucks that we created on the live stream. So fun stuff there. But gonna continue on here now, just regular old stuff, time lapsing all the way to Kerbal Space Center, and I'll rejoin you guys once we're ready to come in for a landing. One thing I did notice as I was trying to line up my plane with the runway is at night there's not really any lighting. That would be really, really cool if they added some kind of night landing lights or something like that, to be able to really line up your trajectory for miles out. That'd be so great. Hey guys, here we are with our landing. We are coming in nice and easy. Just kicked on the VTOL jets, going nice and slow here. Landing gear down, trying to slow that airspeed just a little bit before touchdown. And nailed it. Touchdown. Bill Kerbal, the first Easter egg in Kerbal Space Program achieved. Good job, Bill. That's going to do it for episode 2 of Kerbal Space Program, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure if you liked the video to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. This is Rafflecopter Kerbal, signing off.